I've really been looking forward to our next guest because as our population ages, conversations around whether you should transfer part or all of your inheritance to your children before you die are actually becoming very popular these days. Well, to tell us more, I have a dynamic father and son team on the line. I've got Marco Vendramini, financial planner, founder of Vendramini and Associates of IG Private Wealth Management, and his son Julian Hébert Vendramini, CPA, consultant and tax specialist with Vendramini and Associates. Guys, welcome to Life Unrehearsed.
Hi, Matt.
Hi, Matt. Nice to be here.
Hi, Marco and Julian. Thanks for taking a little time here on a Sunday afternoon. I know you guys are busy.
Hey, Matt, can I just say something before you start?
Sure.
I really love that song that was playing just before we came on.
Yeah, Marco, I figured I'd get a little bit of an appropriate theme song heading into this very important topic. Thank you for that. And, why has the topic of transferring part of your inheritance to your children while you're alive becoming an important topic for you and your clients?
Well, I think, what's interesting, Matt, is that we have a wealth planning practice that I founded. I'm in my 35th year, and, when it started out way back when nobody had any money, we were just starting out, and I don't think anybody expected one day they'd have so much savings and that their real estate would be worth what it's worth today and so on and so forth. So I think what happened is that most of my clients grew with the fact that they wouldn't have enough money, and, their philosophy was, the kids are going to do exactly what I did and so on and so forth. But as retirement kicked in and they started receiving monthly amounts, they realized that, most of our clients realized that they weren't going to spend all of this money between their retirement, start and the rest of their life. So questions popped in and they said, well, hey, listen, if I'm going to die at 92 or 93 and our children are going to inherit the money in their 60s, that's not when they need the money. They may need the money earlier than that. And as we know, surprisingly, Canada is one of the most expensive places to buy real estate right now. And the reason is because real estate has gone up much more than incomes have. And so when young people buy a piece of real estate, their incomes and the mortgage attached to that is just huge. Mm-hmm. So clients decided to ask us, hey, with the planning that you're doing for us, because all of our retired clients have plans, and we renew their plans every year, making sure that they're going to be okay. They said if we were to give, $25,000, $50,000, or $100,000 to our children, how would that affect the plan? And when they saw that, everything was fine and it was a possibility to do that, then more and more clients started mm-hmm. and I would tell you, it picked up so much momentum. There have been articles in La Presse as well talking about that and is it right to do that and so on.
Right.
But
it's a topic I'm hearing it a lot, as you know, Marco, in my world as well. And if the kids need it and the next generation need it earlier, then maybe we could do this while we're alive. And listening to Life Unrehearsed here, Matt Del Vecchio, and I'm talking about transferring part of your inheritance to your children before you die. Now, conversely, how can you provide assurances to that are helping the children won't prevent clients from having the retirement they want? In other words, they don't necessarily want to be handcuffed that they can't enjoy their retirement. How do you handle those situations?
Yeah, so Marco touched on it a bit, but one thing we work with consistently with our clients is called the IG Living Plan. And this is a plan that is able to map out that once you retire, where is your income going to come from? You have a certain amount of savings today. At retirement date, what's that going to look like? And as you go through retirement, how will those resources be depleted? And once we reach close to the end, are we going to run out, or is there going to be a bunch left over? Mm-hmm. And what we do with the plan is we insert, let's say we want to give our kids each one $50,000, $100,000. If we incorporate that into our plan and deplete our resources today, will that make it so that when we're at the end of our retirement, we're going to still be okay? And when clients are able to see that they'll still be okay after having given those gifts, and they'll have more than enough to sustain their way of living. It gives them a lot more assurance to make that gift towards their kids.
You get to see it in black and white, and you're going through that plan, and it gives that assurance, like you say, that maybe this makes a lot of sense. Now, I'm very interested in terms of taxes. Now, are there tax advantages or disadvantages to transferring a part of your inheritance earlier rather than later?
Yeah, definitely. So I'll expand on that too. I've got the master's in tax, and I'll put it a bit to use here with some easy tax. Parents have a lot of money. They might have some savings in non-registered accounts. So whatever income is being earned on those non-registered investments are being taxed at a marginal tax rate of, in Quebec, upwards of 50% sometimes, whereas kids who are low earners, adults, might be at the beginning of their career, their highest marginal rate might be around 30%. So that $1 of additional income for a parent will actually equal 50 cents, whereas for a child it might equal 70 cents. So just having that transfer makes the savings accumulate more long-term because you're depleting them less with the taxes that you pay.
Interesting. With Marco and Julian Vendramini, father and son team from Vendramini and Associates of IG Private Wealth Management here on Life Unrehearsed. Very last question. We have about a minute left. Is there a way to protect and provide, though, for your children and your grandchildren without handing out money?
Yeah, one of the big issues, Matt, is that limited income, if the kids are basically paying the mortgage and it's a big expense, sometimes they have a lot of difficulty providing life insurance and disability insurance and critical life insurance for themselves and even their kids. And that is a huge thing. So parents or grandparents can provide that for them. So again, to Julian's point, rather than having a bunch of stuff being taxed your name, you could say, hey, I'm going to make sure that my kids and my grandkids are going to be very well insured, because case in point, and very, very sad situations that happen. I got a call recently, client, grandson, leukemia, 22 months old, and grandfather said, hey, I'm going to have to help my kids out. Can I take out some money from my savings, and so on and so forth? So critical life insurance, if it's set up for the grandkids and everything, it's such a great way to protect everybody, but to also protect grandparents' assets and the stuff that they built and so on. So you don't have to give cash outright. It can be done that way as well. Very
interesting angle. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We could be here for a lot longer, but you're giving great advice and I really appreciate it. How can our listeners get a hold of you?
Julian?
MarcoVendramini.com. You can find my contact, Marco's contact, and our whole team's contact on that site.
Right. I love it. Marco, leave it to your son to get into the .coms and the website and social media. You don't leave it to the next generation to take that over. Great job, guys. Really appreciate your words of advice, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Matt.
All right, that's Marco Vendramini, financial planner, founder of Vendramini and Associates of IG Private Wealth Management, and Julian Hebert, Vendramini CPA, consultant and tax specialist with Vendramini and Associates.